I'd like to walk through a few steps of drawing the electrical plan drawing with you. So the assignment tells you that you've already got the drawing in your assignments folder, and here it is. When you open the drawing, this is what you'll see. So you can see we have a couple of floor plans already in here. And we're going to make them look like, here's the first one, this one. We're going to make them look like that. So first, let's just make sure our viewport scale is right. I'm going to double click inside the viewport. Watch this tab down here. Right now it says paper space. Double click inside. The line lights up and that tab says model. Good. And I go down here to the scale and I see, oh good, I've already set it to 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. That's just what I wanted. So now I'm going to double click outside to close this thing and watch that tab. Now it's back to paper. All right then. So our scale is 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. Now I think I'll go to model space and let's check what it is we're drawing. I've dropped 2 partial floor plans in here for you. They're side by side. Let's start looking at this first one on the left. So here's what we're trying to do. We've got the walls already, but we want to put all these symbols in here. All right then. Let's start with this light here in the middle of the room. So first of all, these symbols all need to be 1/8 of an inch. The circles need to be 1/8 of an inch in diameter when they're printed, and any text needs to be 1/8 of an inch high when it's printed. But remember that our viewport scale, let's go back here, our viewport scale is 1/4 of an inch to the foot. That's the same as 1 to 48. So when I draw circles, I need to make them 48 times bigger. What is 48 times 1/8 of an inch? It is 6 inches. So instead of drawing my circle 1/8 of an inch, I'm going to draw my circle 6 inches in diameter. All right, now I would like my circle to be in the middle of this room. Let me zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to make a temporary line, just a diagonal line. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, we should check our O-snaps. Let's go down here to the O-snap settings and see what we've got. Looking good. Endpoint, midpoint, we want that. Center, we want that. Quadrant, we want that. Perpendicular, nearest, tangent. We want all of those. Those are all going to be useful. Good. Now, where were we? I'm going to draw a temporary line from one corner of the room to the diagonally opposite corner of the room. And the reason for doing that is that when I go to draw a circle, I'll get the circle command. I like to type C, enter, for circle. There's a midpoint O-snap right in the middle of that line. So that's going to be right in the middle of my room. I'm going to click there for the center of my circle. Now I want a circle that's 6 inches in diameter. But look at what the command line is saying. It says specify radius. So if I want a 6-inch diameter, that means I want a 3-inch radius. So I'm going to enter 3, enter. And there's my 6-inch diameter circle smack in the middle of my room. Yay. Now I can erase this line, and I'm going kind of fast. I'm going to type E, enter, for erase, and I like to use the right crossing window, click, then come over to the right, from the right to the left, to select lines, you don't have to be as careful that way. Alrighty. Now what else have we got? We're going to make this switch symbol with the letter S for switch over here on the wall. Okay. So I'm still on the electric symbol layer. Now, there are two ways to make text. We could do M text or multi-line text, or we could do, used to be called D text or single line text, and either one is going to be just fine. If I type T for text, T for text, it comes right up with M text right off the bat. If I type the whole word text, it's going to come up with single line text. So you can take your pick. I'll just do T for M text first. All right. And it says specify first corner. Shoot, I don't know where I want to hook up that letter S, so I'm just going to start out here in space for right now. M text. Now I have some options here before I get going. H for height. Oh, I'd better set the height of my text. I'll go H, enter. I want my text to be 1/8 of an inch high when it's printed. 1/8 times 48 is 6. I'm going to make my text height 6. So I'm going to, where it says specify height, I'm going to go 6, enter. Okay. Anything else? Why, yes. I want to rotate my text. I don't want it nice and level here. I would like to rotate it 90 degrees just to begin with. So I'm going to type R, enter. And now it wants to know what rotation angle. I'll just tell it 90, enter. See, it's rotating that text. Okay, now specify opposite corner, fine. I'll just click somewhere. And now, enter text. I'm going to enter the letter S, S. And close the text editor. Looky there. It's rotated and it's 6 inches high, so that's going to look good. Now, I will get the layer for wires. Well, I think before I do that, I'm going to stay on the symbol layer for just a minute here, because I want to make a little short line. See right there where the switch symbol is sitting on a little short line on the wall? I'm going to make a little short line, and this is where you want to have that nearest O-snap available, because being nearest on the line, see that little bow tie, that's going to be handy. So I'll click there. I'll just make a line. I don't know how long to make it. I don't care. I'll just make a line. All right. And now I'll move my letter S a little bit. M, enter for move. I'll click on the S. Now, if I use O-snaps, it's going to be funky because the O-snap point for the letter S is out on some corner. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'll just click out here in space for my base point, and then click down here somewhere. So let me show you something that's happening here. This is not what I wanted. See that little ghost line that's snapping in? I don't want polar tracking. I'm not able to eyeball this thing. So I'm going to go down here and just temporarily turn off polar tracking, because that's making it harder. Okay, now, where were we? Move, M for move. Click that letter S, enter. Now I'll just click somewhere out here in space for my base point and just move the letter S down there somewhere. Looks about right. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to start the electric wire layer. I'll make that current. And now I want to run a wire from the switch to the light fixture. And remember that these lines should not be straight lines. This one is a little bit too straight looking. They should all be kind of loopy, kind of curvy lines so that we can tell this is not a wall, this is a wire. So for that, you might want to consider going up here to the Draw ribbon and getting a thing called Spline. And notice there are two flavors of spline. You want the first one, and you can see the picture shows there are grips, there are points right on that squiggly line. If you do the second one, the grips will be out in space and it's annoying. So we want this first one. Okay. And I'll start there. And I'll just kind of click somewhere out in space here to make it a little bit curvy. Then I'll come up here and there's my line. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to fix the dashes in this line. Well, why don't I fix it now? So these are supposed to be dashed lines, but look how tiny they are. That's not right. So remember that our drawing scale factor is 48. We're at a scale of 1 to 48. So I'm going to type LT scale, enter, and I'm going to make my scale factor 48, enter. Good, that's looking good. Let's go to our paper space for a minute. I'm going down here, paper space, not looking like a dashed line. So what do? Now we type PSLT scale for paper space LT scale, enter. And this is an on-off switch. We want this off, so I'm going to put a 0 to turn that thing off. 0, enter. It still didn't turn dashed. So now the last step is I'm going to type regen all, enter. Look, there are our dashes. They don't match our textbook's dash length. That's okay, we don't care. Now let's look at this light fixture up here. Now we're going to make that light fixture, and then we're going to come over here and make these bathroom circles. I think I'll stop right here, and we'll come back in the next video and look at that outdoor light and that bathroom light.